To secure thousands of miles of diverse airspace, the Indian Air Force is looking to modernize its fleet with a fifth-generation stealth fighter. Russia's Sukhoi Su-57 represents the most prominent foreign option currently available for purchase. Standing against it is the HAL AMCA, the centerpiece of India's push for an indigenous fifth-generation combat aircraft. While Western platforms like the F-22 define the global standard for stealth and sensor fusion, they come with diplomatic and financial strings that rarely align with India's traditional procurement model. Indian planners must decide if they prioritize the immediate delivery of a foreign airframe or the long-term development of a domestic one. Choosing the import path provides an immediate leap in capability, whereas the domestic track focuses on building an industrial base from scratch. Both routes require a massive commitment, locking the Air Force into an ecosystem of parts, software, and upgrades for several decades. Selecting a fighter is a long-term strategic marriage. It requires weighing the need for combat readiness today against the desire for defense independence tomorrow. Evaluating the Su-57 requires looking past the marketing and seeing how its design fits India's specific operational needs. Its large airframe allows for a massive internal fuel load and a heavy battery of weapons. For the Air Force, this capacity is essential for patrolling vast borders and conducting long-range missions without constant tanker support. However, that size makes the jet harder to hide, resulting in a larger radar signature than smaller stealth fighters. Thrust vectoring technology allows the engine nozzles to move independently, letting the jet execute extraordinarily sharp and sudden turns. This gives the Su-57 a clear edge in a close-range dogfight, where the ability to point the nose quickly can decide the engagement. But the focus on extreme aerodynamics creates a design trade-off, as the shapes required for maneuverability can conflict with pure radar-evading geometry. To compensate, the Su-57 uses a fused sensor suite that combines traditional radar with infrared search and track. This dual-spectrum approach provides the pilot with high situational awareness, even when operating in an environment where radar is being jammed. On a purely physical level, the Su-57 prioritizes raw power and agility over the absolute invisibility favored by Western designers. Moving to the financial side, the Su-57 is a more economical entry point than almost any other fifth-generation option on the market. But purchase price is a small part of the total cost. The real challenge is maintaining that fleet over its working life. Importing foreign hardware carries long-term supply chain risks, particularly regarding the reliability and availability of critical spare parts. There is also the question of technology transfer. India needs the proprietary data to upgrade the aircraft internally, rather than remaining dependent on a foreign manufacturer for every software patch. Furthermore, integrating India's own indigenous missiles into a Russian flight control system is a complex task that often requires expensive foreign assistance. If geopolitical shifts cut off access to proprietary software or parts, a high-tech fleet becomes little more than expensive hangar art. A low upfront cost provides little comfort if the lack of technical sovereignty leaves the fleet unserviceable during a national crisis. We also have to consider the direct impact on India's own aerospace industry. Buying a full fleet of Su-57s consumes a massive portion of the defense budget, leaving fewer resources for other programs. This diversion of capital could directly slow the momentum of the HAL AMCA project. The alternative is accepting a temporary gap in high-end stealth capability today to ensure the AMCA is fully funded and ready for tomorrow. Developing the AMCA natively gives India total control over every line of code and every manufacturing jig used to build the aircraft. Importing a solution provides a quick fix, but it risks delaying the dream of a self-reliant defense industry. Because of these extreme trade-offs, the best choice depends entirely on the projected timeline of a future conflict. Plotting these options against the urgency of the threat reveals a clear divide in strategic priorities. The Su-57 offers high immediate capability, but offers very little in terms of sovereign technical control. This fits a scenario where a severe multi-front threat is expected to materialize within the next 3 to 5 years. In that urgent situation, the Air Force needs functional hardware immediately, even if it comes with long-term dependency on a foreign supplier. The AMCA represents the opposite. It provides maximum independence, but requires more time to reach operational status. This is the path for a nation focused on the next 50 years, prioritizing a secure domestic supply chain and total weapon compatibility. If independence is the primary goal, the Air Force must resist the shortcut of an import and focus its resources on accelerating the domestic program. A fighter jet's ultimate utility depends on the sovereignty of the supply chain that keeps it in the air.